The Tonight Show will not be seen this evening in order that we may bring you the following special program.
From the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., it's the Watergate Comedy Hour, brought to you by CREEP, the Committee to Re-elect the President, with your host, Richard Nixon. Dick's special guests tonight are John and Martha Mitchell, James J. McCord, L. Patrick Gray, John Dean, the music of H.R. Haldeman and the Buckpassers, and the singing of the Watergate Seven. And me, I'm Doc Kissinger. And now, here's Dickie.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say, I think we have a great show tonight. My special guest is Theodore White, and he'll be here to talk about his latest book, The Screwing of the President. But before we get into tonight's show, let's talk about some of my past programs. For instance, when I took over as host, there were 500,000 troops in Vietnam. Now they're out of Vietnam and in Cambodia. And on the meat front, we're making progress. I've just been informed that kidney and liver are holding steady. I only wish mine were. Oh! Ha ha ha! I laughed. I don't explain them, I just read them. How we doing, Doc?
Mein Herr, I think the monologue is going into the toilet. Don't you think you should make your statement regarding you-know-what, then take questions from the audience and save the tumult for later?
Right on, Doc, right on. My fellow Americans, I wish to speak to you tonight from the bottom of my deeply troubled heart, and not from any ghost-written prepared script. Could you raise the cue cards a little higher? Fine. Thank you. My friends, a grave shadow of doubt has been cast over the office of the presidency. A few rotten apples are trying to spoil the entire barrel. And some people are saying, it's my turn in the barrel. Well, I'm not an apple. Hold the rim shots. Now, let me say this. If we're going to be bobbing for anything, we're going bobbing for the truth. The truth as I see it. Now, I have nothing to hide. I believe in a free exchange of ideas. I believe in a free press. I believe in music. I believe in love. Hold it, hold it. Let me say, if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them at this time.
Mr. President?
Yes.
What is your personal involvement with the Watergate?
Well, that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much. Good night, and God bless you.
Please, Mr. President, you can't avoid these questions any longer. Now, what do you personally know about the Watergate?
Well, I'm very glad that you asked that question. Let me say that I believe a grave injustice has been done here. A loss of integrity, a loss of reputation have humiliated what might have been a fine, high-rise apartment building.
No, sir. What I'm talking about is the break-in and bugging of the Democratic National Headquarters on 17 June 1972, the arrests and convictions of the Watergate Seven, and the subsequent disclosures that members of your staff had knowledge of this illegal act, and afterwards try to whitewash any investigation and lie to protect themselves and other high members of your administration.
Could you be more specific? Doc, it looks like I'm up against it. What do we do?
Well, mein Herr, it's quite obvious. We need a fall guy.
But I've used up so many already.
You need someone in the public eye, someone close to you, and yet someone they would never suspect.
Yes, but who?
Your wife, Pat.
My wife, Pat? Why, you can't be serious. You don't think for a moment that I would ever entertain the thought of sacrificing someone near and dear to me for the sake of political expediency. No, there must be someone else left.
Only you.
It can now be revealed that my wife, Pat, conceived and led the Watergate affair. I am shocked and truly saddened. And let me add that I, of course, had no knowledge of it. Because, as you all know, Pat and I have never spoken. Well, that's it for tonight. And let me say, keep those telegrams coming. Because after all, I paid for them.
That's our show for tonight. Next, stay tuned for Raymond Burr and Sir Manette.
All right, Mr. McCord, Operation Watergate goes into effect tonight.
Are you sure this is safe? I mean, I'd like something in writing, you know?
Well, as an old CIA man, you ought to know that we can't put anything down in writing. Just rest assured it's been cleared.
Are you sure Mitchell knows about it?
I told you, it's been cleared all the way to the top.
I mean, the big man himself?
Well, you can't be privy to that information. That's on a need-to-know basis only. Just trust me.
It'd be easy to trust you if you weren't wearing a paper sack over your head. I mean, how do I know you're really on the White House staff?
Well, how's this for credentials?
Gee, an autographed picture of a man with a paper sack over his head standing next to B.B. Rebozo. Yeah, that's... Okay, but I don't know. You know, this whole caper seems stupid to me. I mean, the president has a giant lead in the polls. McGovern is making blunder after blunder. The Eagle in the Fair has almost destroyed him, and you want us to bug the headquarters to find out what?
We've got to bug them to find out if they know that we're bugging them.
Huh? You mean we're not trying to get anything on them? We're trying to find out if they have anything on us?
That's right. How would it look if they discovered that what we've been up to and then sprung it on the public a week before the election? It would ruin the president's chances. I can just see the headlines. Republicans carry out massive political espionage against the Democrats. Why, they'd use that to say that we were undermining the whole American political system.
But we are.
Of course, but only to preserve it.
You mean to tell me we're committing an illegal act in the Watergate to determine if they're aware of previous illegal acts we've committed against them?
That's right.
And we're doing this to preserve democracy?
That's right. Democracy and 4 more years of Republican rule.
Good. Well, just so long as it's not 1 to 20. You know, I can't believe the president's given his okay on this, though.
I'm not saying that he has, but he's okayed the men who are okaying it.
And if I get caught?
Oh, it's simple breaking and entering. You do a couple of months, and we pay you for the rest of your life to keep quiet. Now, the brunt of any bust will be taken by 4 patriotic Cubans whom we've convinced that McGovern is a Castro-loving commie pervert.
Dateline, Washington. President Nixon today announced that he had appointed his White House counsel, John Dean, to head up a complete investigation into the Watergate break-in.
Mr. Dean, Mr. L. Patrick Gray is here to see you.
Now, send him right in, honey. Oh, hiya, Pat. How are you?
Well, fine, Mr. Dean, fine.
Oh, hell, Pat. Call me John. We're all on the same team. Now, see, the reason I've asked you over here is because the president has asked me to head up a thorough investigation of this Watergate business. And we're going to let the chips just fall where they may, no matter who's involved.
Well, that's the only way, sir.
Right, and since you're the head of the FBI, I thought it'd be good to have you ride shotgun on this while I ask the questions, and maybe you can take notes if you wish.
Oh, gee, I didn't bring a pen.
Well, just commit it to memory, then. Excuse me, Miss Peters, would you send the staff in?
Yes, sir.
Pat, I think you know most of the president's first team here, Bob Halderman.
Oh, yes, hi, Bob.
And John Ehrlichman.
John.
Jebby Magruder.
Ciao.
Maury Stans.
How do you do?
And, of course, Johnny Mitchell.
Yes, John.
Now, fellas, Fellas, you want to just settle down and say it's pretty important business we're going to do here. Fellas, I don't have to tell you why you're all here. The president wants a no-holds-barred, in-depth investigation of this whole incident. So I'm going to have to ask you all a question. Now, did any of you have any knowledge at all of the attempt to break into the Watergate?
No.
Okay. Well, that should do it. Okay, listen. Listen, thanks for dropping by, guys. We'll see you at the club tonight, huh?
Fine, fine. Bye, sir. Nice to see you again.
Pat.
Yes.
Pat, just a sec, huh? Listen, before you head back over to the Justice Department, I wonder if you'd mind taking this manila envelope with you?
Oh, yeah, sure. What's in it?
Well, between you and me, this is political dynamite. I mean, it should never see the light of day.
Oh, top secret stuff, eh?
Oh, just between you and me, it's a picture of Ted Kennedy and Kate Smith together.
Gee, something like that could ruin Kate's career.
Right on. Right on. So please don't open it. Just burn it and swallow the ashes. You'll get used to the taste.
I'll do my best, sir.
Sure you will. Well, see you around, Patsy. I mean, Pat.